I never thought I would live long enough to fear my own children. But life has a cruel way of turning the people you love the most into the ones who hurt you the deepest. My name is Margaret, though most people just call me Grandma Maggie. I'm 73 years old, with a spine that aches each morning, hands that tremble when the cold sets in, and a heart that has carried more love than my body ever could. But nothing prepared me for what happened the day my daughter demanded the money from selling my farm. For 60 years that land fed our family. It kept us alive during droughts, paid for school uniforms, and buried my husband when lung cancer took him before his time. When I finally sold it, reluctantly, painfully, it was not for luxury, not for greed, not for comfort. It was for survival. My medical bills, my heart medication, the repairs on this old house. Everything was piling on top of me like bricks. I told my children I had sold the farm. What I didn't expect was the storm that followed. It started on a gray Thursday morning. Rain had painted the sky with streaks of silver, and the house smelled of old wood and last night's tea. I was sitting at the kitchen table, clipping expired coupons, a habit I never managed to break, when the front door swung open so hard it rattled the frame. My daughter, Clara, marched in with her jaw clenched, eyes burning like she had fire inside her. "Mom," she snapped, "why didn't you tell me you sold the farm?" Her tone froze me. No greeting, no warmth, just accusation. I didn't want to burden you, sweetheart," I said softly. "It was something I had to do. The money," she interrupted, "belongs to the family, and I need it." My heart tightened. "What for?" I asked, though part of me already knew the answer. Clara had always been the one chasing shiny things. New cars she couldn't afford, trips she put on credit cards, handbags worth 2 months of my pension. She was sweet once, but life had turned her restless, impatient, demanding. She crossed her arms. "Mom, I'm struggling. I've got debts. And since you're old and don't need much, it makes more sense for the money to go to someone who can use it properly." She said it like I was already buried. I felt the insult like a slap. "Clara, that money is not for handbags or trips. It's for my medical care, for my future. I'm not dead yet." And that was when she snapped. Clara slammed her palms on the table. "Selfish? Mom, are you serious? After everything I have done for you growing up? Now you deny me what is rightfully mine, rightfully hers." She said it like my years breaking my back on that farm meant nothing. "I'm sorry," I whispered, "but the answer is no. I need that money." Her nostrils flared. She paced the kitchen like a storm brewing inside a small room. Then she stopped abruptly, leaned close to my face, and hissed, "If you don't give it to me, Mom, you'll regret it." I swallowed hard. My daughter, my blood, threatening me. "I won't be bullied," I told her softly, though my hands shook beneath the table. She growled with frustration and whipped out her phone. "You forced this," she muttered as she walked out. I didn't know then, but that was the moment she called my older son. And that call changed everything. For an hour the house was silent. Just the ticking of the old clock. Just my heartbeat, loud in my ears. I kept thinking, what happened to my children? When did love turn into entitlement? If their father were alive, he would have been heartbroken. I didn't know whether to cry or pray. But soon the front door burst open again. This time it wasn't Clara. My older son Daniel walked in. Tall, broad-shouldered, angry. He didn't hug me. Didn't even say hello. He stood there with fists clenched, breathing like he had sprinted all the way from his house. "Mom," he said, "Clara told me everything. What's wrong with you? Why won't you help your own family?" "I am helping my family," I said. "I am trying to stay alive long enough to see my grandkids grow up." He rolled his eyes. "You have insurance. You have pension. You don't need all that money." I felt dizzy. It was like they had rehearsed this together. Two adults cornering an old woman for her own resources. "It's mine," I said firmly. "And I'm not giving it to anyone." Daniel stepped closer. "Don't make this difficult," he warned. My heart thumped loudly. I tried to stand up from the chair, but my knees wobbled. "Daniel," I whispered, "please don't do this." And then Clara stepped into the room from behind him. She had been hiding outside, listening, waiting. The moment I looked at her, I knew something bad was about to happen. Daniel grabbed my arm hard. "Daniel, stop. You're hurting me." "I wouldn't have to hurt you," he snapped, "if you weren't being stubborn." Clara circled behind me like a predator. "Mom, this is ridiculous. Just tell us where the money is." "There is no money in the house," I cried. "It's in the bank." She smirked. "So what's the pin?" My stomach dropped. "They're my savings." I managed to scream. "You have no right." Daniel's grip tightened. Searing pain shot through my ribs. "You're going to give us that money," he yelled. "Or we're taking you to the bank right now." I felt something crack inside me. Literally. A sharp burst of pain exploded through my chest. "Daniel!" I gasped. My side, my rib. But he didn't let go. He shoved me back into the chair. Clara's face twisted with frustration. "We don't have time for this," she spat. "Tell us now or—" And at that exact moment, there was a sound, a sickening deep crack. I screamed. Daniel froze. Clara's eyes widened. I collapsed onto the kitchen floor, clutching my side, the agony unbearable. "My rib," I sobbed. "You broke my rib." And for the first time since they stormed in, they both looked scared. But that part, what happened next? The moment everything turned upside down. The moment they realized consequences were coming. That comes in the next part. Because the next 20 minutes changed our lives forever. People often say, when you hurt your mother, you hurt God's favorite child. And I will tell you now, my children learned that lesson in the most unexpected way. Pain has a strange way of slowing down time. The moment my rib cracked under Daniel's grip, the world around me turned fuzzy, like someone smeared reality with a wet paintbrush. I remember falling to the floor, cold linoleum against my cheek, the metallic taste of panic in my mouth. I remember my own voice, thin, trembling, whispering, "Daniel, Claire, please." And I remember the silence that followed. Not the gentle kind, but the terrifying silence of two people who finally realized they went too far. Clara was the first to react. She knelt beside me, her hands shaking, her face pale. Mom, look at me. Are you okay? Daniel, call someone." Daniel stepped back like he had touched fire. His eyes darted between me and Clara, shock swallowing his anger. I didn't mean," he stuttered. She wasn't listening." Clara snapped her head at him. "Listening? Daniel, she's bleeding. Mom, stay awake." I blinked slowly. My breath came in sharp, painful stabs. "I told you stop," I whispered. But they weren't listening again. Not really. They were panicking because they were afraid of what would happen to them, not what had happened to me. Daniel paced the room, running his hands through his hair. "This is bad," he murmured. "Mom, we're sorry, but Clara, we should just take her to the car. We can tell the doctor she fell." My heart twisted. Even now, even after breaking my rib, they were still thinking of lies. Clara's face hardened. "No. If we take her to the hospital, they'll ask questions. She's bruised. They'll call the police." The police. Funny how the fear of justice can sober even the cruelest hearts. "Okay," Daniel said finally. "Let's just get the money first. Then we'll deal with this." He stepped toward me again. I pushed myself backward with what little strength I had left. "No," I croaked. "Don't touch me." He froze. Maybe for the first time he truly saw me, not as a bank account, not as a burden, but as a human being. My breath came out ragged. But before either of them could say anything else, there was a sound at the front door. A knock. No. Pounding. Clara jumped so violently she nearly fell over me. "Oh my God," she gasped. Who called them?" Daniel's face drained of color. "I didn't call anyone." Neither did she. And I was too weak to reach the phone. "So who?" Then it hit me. My neighbor, Mrs. Fletcher. God bless that nosy woman. She had seen Clara storm into the house earlier screaming. She probably heard me too. Our houses were close enough that even whispers were shared. The pounding came again. "Open the door." "Police." Clara panicked. "They'll arrest us." "Mom, please don't say anything. Tell them you fell. Tell them." Her words tangled into frantic nonsense. Daniel looked at the door like it was death itself. "Clara, shut up. We need to think." But the police didn't wait. The door burst open. 2 officers stepped inside. The moment they saw me on the floor, bruised, bleeding, clutching my side, their expressions changed instantly. "Ma'am, don't move," the taller officer said. "Ambulance is on the way." Daniel took a step forward with his palms up. "Officer, it's not what it looks like." The second officer cut him off. "Sir, step away from your mother. Right now." Clara started crying on cue, dramatic, loud, theatrical. "Officers, please. This is all a misunderstanding. My mom, she's confused, she's old, she falls a lot." The shorter officer crouched next to me. "Ma'am," he said gently, "did these 2 hurt you?" I looked at my son. And my daughter. At the bruises forming on my arm. At the pain in my chest. At the betrayal that felt far worse than the broken rib. I closed my eyes. And instead of answering, I let out a sob. That was enough. Within seconds, Daniel was against the wall, hands behind his back. Clara screamed hysterically as the female officer cuffed her. "You can't do this. This is my mother. She's lying." The officer's voice remained cold. "Ma'am, your mother is injured and terrified. You will have your chance to speak at the station." Terrified. That word hurt more than any broken bone. Was I terrified? Maybe. Maybe not of the physical pain, but of how easily my own children could turn into strangers. I heard sirens outside, the ambulance. Paramedics rushed in, lifting me gently, placing me on a stretcher. As they carried me out, Clara yelled, "Mom, tell them the truth." I didn't answer. I couldn't, because the truth was something they would never want to hear. They had already stopped being my children long before the police arrived. The paramedic on my left, a young man with kind eyes, checked my pulse. "You're safe now, okay? We've got you." Safe. When was the last time I felt that? My hands trembled. "Sir," I whispered, "I never wanted them arrested. I just wanted them to stop." He nodded. I'm sorry this happened to you, but someone who hurts you once will hurt you again." His words dug straight into my soul, because deep down I knew he was right. I loved my children, but love shouldn't mean tolerating cruelty. At the hospital, everything blurred together. X-rays, painkillers, for drips, questions. My rib was officially fractured. My arm was bruised black and blue. My blood pressure had skyrocketed from stress. Hours passed. By evening, I was lying in a quiet room, staring at the soft glow of the monitor beside me. That's when a nurse entered with a gentle smile. "Mrs. Maggie," she said, "someone special is waiting to see you." I frowned. "Someone special?" She opened the door, and in walked my youngest son, Michael. My sweet boy, the only one who had ever remained close, ever loyal, ever loving. He rushed to my side, his eyes shining with fear and relief. "Mom, oh my God, what did they do to you?" I broke down completely, because Michael didn't ask for money. He didn't demand anything. He didn't blame me. He only came to hold my hand. "I'm here now," he said firmly. "You're not alone anymore." I cried into his chest, the kind of cry that scrapes the soul raw. Michael pulled back, wiping my tears gently. "Mom," he said quietly, "I didn't want to upset you, but I need to tell you something." My breath hitched. "Tell me what?" He clenched his jaw, eyes burning with anger and disbelief. "While you were in the ambulance, Clara and Daniel told the officers you were mentally unstable. They tried to convince the police you were hallucinating. They said you attacked them." I gasped. They what?" "That's not all," he continued. "They also said you're too old to manage your finances, and that they should be given legal control over your money." Legal control over everything I had left. The betrayal cut deeper than any injury. Michael held my hand tighter. "But don't worry, Mom," he whispered. "The police didn't believe them. And now you have a decision to make." "A decision?" I asked shakily. He nodded slowly. "Whether you want to press charges. Charges against my own children. The two people I raised with my own hands. The two who once called me the best mom in the world. The two who shared my table and slept under my roof." My broken rib throbbed. My heart throbbed harder. I don't know," I whispered. Michael squeezed my hand. "Then sleep on it tonight." "But Mom," his voice softened in the deepest, most heartbreaking way. "You can't let people who hurt you keep hurting you, even if they're family." I don't know how long I stood in my kitchen that evening, my hands still shaking, my breath uneven, and my ribs still throbbing from where my own son had hurt me. The ache wasn't just physical anymore. No, it was deeper. It was inside my chest, inside my memories, inside every piece of me that once believed my children could never turn into strangers. But as I washed the blood from my hands and wiped away the tears that had dried on my cheeks, I made myself remember something. I wasn't always this fragile old woman they thought they could bully. I used to run this farm alone when their father was bedridden. I used to cook, clean, haul sacks of grain heavier than my boys ever lifted. I used to stand up to storms, sickness, and debt collectors. So why was I now afraid of my own children? That question clung to me like smoke. Later that night, when the house was finally silent and the lights were off, I sat alone at the wooden dining table. The same table where my children once laughed, spilled milk, fought over toys, and asked me for bedtime stories. And now that table only held my loneliness. I pulled out my husband's old toolbox from under the cabinet, the one he kept secret from everyone except me. Inside, under his rusty hammers and faded screwdrivers, was the lockbox only he and I knew about. My hands trembled as I placed it on the table. Because the real truth was this. The farm money was never meant for my daughter or my son. Not a single rupee. My husband had left that decision to me, and we both knew exactly who deserved it. I ran my fingers over the box as memories flooded in. My daughter screaming at me for not helping her buy a new car. My older son who stopped calling me unless he needed something. My younger son, well, at least he visited. Sometimes. But there was only one person, one soul, who had stood by me without asking for anything. My grandson. My sweet, gentle, soft-spoken grandson who brought me soup when I was sick, who fixed my fence when it broke, who sat with me and listened to my stories like they were treasures, who hugged me tighter than all my children combined. He didn't know it yet, but the farm money, the real inheritance, everything was going to him. It wasn't revenge. It was justice. As I sat there, the room dimly lit by the flickering kitchen bulb, I heard footsteps, heavy ones, outside the house. At first, I thought it was just a stray dog or perhaps the wind pushing branches along the porch. But then I heard voices, whispering. One male, one female. My heart sank. I didn't have to guess. I knew exactly who it was. My daughter and my older son back again. My stomach tightened. My hands turned cold. And for a moment, a very brief, shameful moment, I felt like a terrified old woman again. But then something inside me hardened. Not this time. They were not going to hurt me again. I gently closed the lockbox, slid it under the table, and reached for the walking stick beside the door. It wasn't for walking. Not tonight. It was for courage. The voices outside grew louder. She must be asleep, my daughter hissed. Good. We'll take the documents and leave, my son replied. Documents? They thought the sale papers were still here. They thought I was weak enough to let them ransack my home. Oh, how little they knew me. I walked toward the front door silently, my breath steadying with each step. When I reached the window and peeked outside, my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. My daughter was carrying a crowbar. My son had a flashlight and gloves on. What were they planning to do? Break into my home? Threaten me again? Hurt me again? A hot, burning anger rose in me. Anger I hadn't felt since the day my husband was taken from me. I wasn't just mad. I was insulted. My own children saw me as prey. Before they could smash the window, I stepped onto the porch and said in the steadiest voice I could muster, "Touch that crowbar to my window, and I swear on your father's grave, you too will regret it." Their heads snapped toward me. My son looked shocked, but my daughter's face twisted in annoyance. "Mama, stop acting. Just give us the papers," she shouted. "There are no papers," I said. "And even if there were, you would never get them." My son clenched his jaw. "Mama, don't make this hard. You owe us." "I owe you." I stepped closer. "What exactly do I owe you? The years I raised you? The food I put on your table? The clothes you wore? The sacrifices I made while you both lived your own lives? We are your children," my daughter snapped. "We deserve something." "You deserve what you earned," I replied. "And you earned nothing." Her face reddened. My son's fists balled up. I tightened my grip on the walking stick. For a moment, the world felt like it had stopped breathing. Then suddenly, a bright pair of headlights swept across the yard, blinding all of us. A truck pulled up fast, gravel spraying under its tires. And before I even realized who it was, a familiar voice shouted, "Grandma! Step back! My grandson! My sweet boy! My only true family!" He jumped out of the truck and ran toward me, placing himself between me and my children. "What are you two doing here?" he growled. His voice wasn't soft this time. It was cold, fierce, protective, just like his grandfather. My daughter rolled her eyes. "Stay out of this. This is between us and Mama." But my grandson stepped closer. "No, this ends now." My son scoffed. "Or what?" My grandson didn't answer with words. He simply raised his phone. The screen was lit. The camera was recording. Their voices, their threats, their weapons, everything was captured. My grandson stared at them without blinking. "You come near her again," he said slowly, "and I will make sure the police know exactly what you're capable of." My daughter's mouth fell open. My son looked away. For the first time, they looked scared. Good. Let them feel even a portion of what they put me through. Finally, muttering curses, they stormed off toward the road. My daughter threw the crowbar into the dirt. My son didn't even look back. My grandson watched until their figures disappeared into the dark. Only then did he turn to me. "Grandma, are you okay? Did they hurt you again?" He whispered, his voice trembling. And listening to that tremble, listening to the fear and love in his tone, I felt something inside me break. Not from sadness, from relief. I finally had someone on my side. He gently touched my bruised arm, his eyes burning with anger and pain. "Grandma, you should have told me," he said softly. "I would never let anyone hurt you. Ever." I wanted to tell him everything then and there. About the money, about the inheritance, about why I kept fighting so hard. But I couldn't. Not yet. I needed to protect him from the storm that was still coming. So instead, I placed my hand on his cheek and whispered, "You are the only one who truly loves me. And someday, everything I have will be yours." His eyes widened, but he didn't question me. He just hugged me. And in that moment, wrapped in the arms of the only person who had never betrayed me, I felt safe again. But deep inside, I knew something terrible. My daughter and son were not finished. People who feel entitled don't give up easily. And the war for this farm had only just begun. That night, after my daughter and older son disappeared into the darkness, my grandson helped me inside and locked every door, every window, even the old back latch that barely anyone remembered existed. He double-checked everything twice, maybe 3 times. I watched him move through my home with a kind of protective fire I had only seen in one person before. His grandfather. Strong, quiet, determined. He didn't have his grandfather's hands or face, but his spirit? Oh, it was the same. The very same. When he finally sat down at the kitchen table across from me, I could see the worry in his eyes even though he tried to hide it. That boy had always been too gentle for this cruel world. But tonight, he had stood like a shield in front of me. "Grandma," he whispered, "tell me the truth. How long has this been happening?" I looked down at my bruised hands, my fingers trembling slightly. I didn't want him to worry. I didn't want him to feel guilty. I didn't want him to feel responsible for the mistakes his parents, my own children, had turned into. But he deserved the truth. So I told him. Not everything, but enough. "They've been coming for weeks," I said softly. "First for small things, then for money, then for more. When I sold the farm," I paused, swallowing the lump in my throat, "they believed the money was theirs." He frowned, leaning closer. They hurt you because of that? I nodded. Your mother, your uncle. They want a shortcut to life. They think what belongs to others should belong to them. A deep sadness filled his face. Grandma, I'm so sorry. That sorry pierced my heart. You have nothing to apologize for, I said. You're the only one who has never taken advantage of me. He looked down, but I saw his fingers curl into fists. Then he asked the question I had been dreading. Where is the money now? The lockbox under the table felt suddenly heavy. Too heavy. I forced myself to answer calmly. It's safe. Safer than you think. He hesitated, then nodded slowly, as if trying to respect the boundaries I set, boundaries my children never once honored. He stayed with me a while longer, talking softly, checking my ribs, making me tea. He was so gentle, so patient. And the more he cared for me, the more it made my heart ache. Because I knew what was coming. My daughter and older son would never stop. Not until one of two things happened. They got the money, or they got punished. And knowing them, they would rather burn the world down than be denied. Around midnight, after making sure I was settled in my bed, my grandson went home. He lived only 7 minutes away by truck. A tiny blessing in this storm. But before leaving, he said, I'm coming back first thing in the morning. And I believed him. Because that boy had never broken a promise to me. Not once. As soon as his truck's headlights faded and the night swallowed the road again, my home fell into that deep silence only old houses know. Creaking wood, whispering walls, occasional groans of settling beams. Normally I found comfort in those sounds. But not that night. Everything felt sharp. Strange. Too quiet. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, unable to close my eyes. Every little sound outside made my heart jolt. A branch scratching the window. A dog barking far away. The wind pushing dead leaves against the porch. Sleep refused to come. And sometime near dawn, as the early blue light began creeping through the curtains, I heard it. A car engine. Slow. Heavy. Rolling to a stop right in front of my house. My breath froze. They were back. I sat up slowly, every bone in my body aching. Not from age, but from fear. Fear of my own children. Fear of what they could do next. Fear that this time they wouldn't leave so easily. The engine cut off. I heard doors opening. Footsteps. 2 sets. Then, a third. My stomach twisted. Who did they bring this time? I reached for my walking stick and shuffled toward the living room. Staying low, staying quiet. The early morning light cast long shadows across the wooden floor. Then, a sharp knock. Mama! Open the door. My daughter's voice. Then my older son's. We know you're awake. And then an unfamiliar voice. Cold. Male. Impatient. Do you want me to break it? They brought someone. A stranger. A man who didn't sound like he came here to talk. My blood ran cold. I backed away from the door, my breathing shallow, my heart pounding so loudly I feared they could hear it. My daughter's voice came again, harsher this time. Mama! We won't leave until you give us the money. 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 It was all they saw when they looked at me. Not a mother. Not a woman who raised them. Not a human being. Just money. I closed my eyes for a moment. I prayed, not for myself but for my grandson. That he wouldn't arrive while they were still here. That he wouldn't walk into danger. That he wouldn't get hurt because of me. Because he was the only person left in this world who loved me. Another bang on the door jolted me back. The stranger spoke again. Last chance. No. No, no, no. I needed to protect myself, my home, my grandson's future. And there was only one option left. I quietly slipped into the back room, the one my husband and I had built with our own hands, the one nobody knew had a second exit. I unlocked the small wooden hatch on the floor, pulled up the old rug, and crawled into the hidden crawl space beneath the house. My husband built it during a time when storms would rip open roofs and thieves roamed the countryside. He always said, "Just in case, sweetheart." Now, just in case had arrived. I closed the hatch behind me. Seconds later, boom, the front door crashed open. They were inside. For the next few minutes, I heard everything. My daughter screaming my name, my son stomping through the hall, the stranger knocking things over, opening drawers, breaking cabinets, searching for the lockbox. They tore my house apart, piece by piece. Memories, furniture, photographs, destroyed. I covered my mouth with both hands to keep from sobbing. "Where is she?" my daughter yelled. "She has to be here," my son growled. "Find her." Then the stranger's voice. "Maybe she hid the cash already. Check under beds, closets, everything." They kept destroying my home, breaking things I'd cherished for 40 years. Things their father and I had built, bought, earned with sweat and love. I didn't know how long it went on. 10 minutes? 20? An hour? Time felt strange, slower and faster at the same time. But then, I heard something new. A vehicle. Fast. Crunching gravel. Then a voice I knew better than my own heartbeat. "Grandma!" My grandson. No. He had come too early. Before I could even process it, I heard him climb the porch steps. Then, "Mom? Uncle? What the hell are you doing here?" My daughter's voice sharpened. "You stay out of this." My grandson didn't listen. "Did you break her door? Where is she?" The stranger snapped back. "Kid, get lost." Then a sound, a scuffle, feet sliding across the floor. My grandson. They touched him. My heart exploded in terror. I wanted to scream. I wanted to burst out of the floor. I wanted to grab them by the hair and drag them away from him. But I stayed frozen, because coming out now meant all of us could get hurt. And then, a loud crash. A grunt. Someone falling. Then my grandson's voice, fierce and angry. "Don't you dare touch me again." He fought back. My gentle boy, he fought for me. But there were 3 of them. 3 adults. One was a strong man. And my grandson was alone. The panic in his breathing made my chest seize. I heard my daughter yell, "Tie him! Tie him so he can't call the police." That sentence stabbed me through the heart. Tie him. Tie my grandson. I covered my mouth again, but this time not to keep quiet. This time to keep from throwing up. Because I suddenly understood something. This wasn't about the farm. Not anymore. This was becoming dangerous. Truly dangerous. And if I didn't come out soon, something unforgivable would happen. Something irreversible. Something I could never forgive myself for. Down in the cold crawl space, trembling and breathless, I realized I had only 2 choices left. Stay hidden and keep myself safe, or come out and save my grandson. There was no hesitation, no doubt, no fear strong enough to hold me back. Because the truth was simple. I would die before I let them hurt him. I placed my hands against the wooden hatch, pushing it open quietly. And as I rose into the ruined remains of my once peaceful home, I knew, whatever happened next, it would change everything. Forever. When I pushed open the hatch and stepped back into my ruined living room, the world felt cold and unreal, like stepping into someone else's nightmare instead of my own. My house, my sanctuary. It looked like a tornado had chewed through every wall and spat out the pieces. Drawers overturned, cabinets ripped off hinges, broken picture frames littered the floor like casualties. And there, in the center of the chaos, my grandson, on his knees, hands pinned behind him by the stranger, his breathing tight and labored. My daughter stood near the hallway, her face red and twisted with frustration. My older son paced like a rabid dog, fists clenched, hair wild, eyes burning. The moment they saw me, everything stopped. Every sound, every movement, every breath. My grandson's eyes went wide. "Grandma, no. Go back. Please." But I raised my hand to silence him, because this had gone far beyond running, hiding, or waiting for someone else to fix it. This was my moment, my line in the sand, my family's breaking point. I stepped fully into the room, even though my legs trembled underneath me. "Let the boy go," I said quietly. My voice didn't shake. To my surprise, it was calm, stronger than I expected. The stranger looked at my daughter for direction. He wasn't in charge. Oh no, she was. My sweet baby girl who once braided my hair on Sunday mornings, who used to hide behind my apron when thunderstorms frightened her, who cried when she lost her first tooth. Now she glared at me like I was prey. "Where were you hiding?" she hissed. I ignored her question and looked only at my grandson. "Are you hurt, sweetheart?" He shook his head quickly. "No. Grandma, don't come closer." But my son cut him off. "Tell us where the money is," he snapped, "or we won't let him go." And that right there, was the moment my heart cracked in a way I didn't think possible. Not when my husband died. Not when I lost my home. Not even when I watched the 2 children I raised turn into strangers. No, the deepest, sharpest crack came from hearing my own son say he would harm my grandson for money. Money that wasn't even theirs. I straightened, gripping my walking stick more tightly. "You lay another finger on him," I said softly, "and I swear on your father's grave, you will regret it for the rest of your life." My daughter scoffed. My son laughed bitterly. But the stranger, the hired muscle, hesitated, because he saw something they didn't. I wasn't afraid anymore. I took a slow step forward. My daughter snapped, "Stop right there." I didn't. Another step. My son's voice rose. "Mama, don't push us." Another step. The stranger gripped my grandson's arms tighter, unsure what to do. And then, I said the one thing that froze every single person in that room. "You want the money?" Silence burned through the air. My son leaned forward. "Yes, Mama." Finally. My daughter nodded eagerly, breathing hard. "Where is it?" The stranger straightened, adjusting his grip on my grandson. My grandson met my eyes and I saw panic, pure panic, because he thought I was about to give up everything. But I lifted my chin and said, "Let the boy go first." My daughter rolled her eyes. "No." My son waved a hand. "We're not stupid." I shrugged. "Then you get nothing." He cursed and stepped closer to me, fists clenched, eyes wild. "Mama, don't make this harder. Just tell us." I lifted my walking stick between us, stopping him inches from my face. "You will do what I say," I whispered, "or you will leave this house with empty hands." The stranger looked at my daughter again. This time her confidence wavered. because she knew something they both refused to admit. When I used that tone, when I looked at them like that, I meant every word. Finally, she threw her hands up. Fine. Let the boy go. It's not like he knows anything anyway. The stranger reluctantly released my grandson. My boy stood up fast, rushing to my side. Grandma, don't do this. Please. Just call the police. I squeezed his hand to silence him. I will handle this. He swallowed hard, torn between respecting me and wanting to protect me, but he stayed close. His presence steadied me. It reminded me why I had to stand strong. My son folded his arms. All right, Mama. Start talking. I walked to the old wooden table, one of the few things they hadn't smashed. My grandson stayed at my side, trembling with worry. I reached underneath the table and tapped twice on the wooden beam. A soft click echoed in the room. My daughter's eyes widened. What is that? My son leaned forward. You had a hiding spot? The stranger crossed his arms, finally believing their stories that I had money hidden somewhere. Slowly, I pulled out the small metal lockbox. Dusty, heavy, cold. They all gasped. It was the reaction I expected and counted on. My daughter nearly whispered, "Open it." My son licked his lips anxiously. Come on, Mama. Stop playing. But I didn't move. Instead, I looked at my grandson. Sweetheart, I said softly, step behind me. He hesitated but obeyed, placing himself directly behind my shoulder. Good, because what was coming next wasn't for his eyes. I turned back to my children, my two lost souls, and placed the box gently on the table. You want this? My son nodded. Yes. You came here ready to hurt me for it? My daughter crossed her arms. We're done talking. Open it. I let out a slow breath. You want the truth? I asked. No one answered. So I continued. There is no money in this box. My son's face twisted. Don't lie. My daughter slammed her fist on the table. Stop lying to us. I touched the lid with my fingertips. You want to know what's inside? They leaned forward. Even the stranger leaned forward. So I opened the box. Just an inch. Just enough. To reveal. Not stacks of cash. Not gold. Not jewelry. Not documents. Just one folded sheet of paper. My daughter gasped. What the hell is that? My son shouted. Where's the money? And I finally lifted the lid completely. Inside was the only thing I kept hidden from the world for years. A single handwritten letter. My husband's last words. The room fell silent. Completely silent. My hand shook as I lifted the letter. This, I whispered, is worth more than money. My daughter scoffed. Don't start with your emotional nonsense. My son shook his head angrily. We came for cash, not feelings. I pressed the letter to my chest. This letter explains where the money went. That shut both of them up. What? My son asked. I nodded. Yes. You want the truth? Here it is. I unfolded the letter. My husband's handwriting, shaky from illness, stared back at me. My vision blurred with tears. Mama, what does it say? My grandson whispered. But before I could read it aloud, before I could reveal the truth, before I could show them what their father left behind, the stranger stepped forward suddenly, growling. Enough wasting time. Give me the letter. And he grabbed my arm. Hard. My grandson lunged. Don't touch her. Everything exploded. My daughter screamed. My son shoved my grandson back. The stranger tried to snatch the letter from my hand. My grip tightened. My body twisted. And then, bang! A loud thud shook the whole house. It wasn't a gunshot. It wasn't a slap. It was something heavier. Something more frightening. Something that made everyone freeze. Footsteps. Heavy ones. More than 3. Voices. Shouting. Command. This is the police. Nobody move. My daughter's face drained of color. My son staggered backward. The stranger cursed under his breath. And my grandson, my sweet brave boy, whispered in my ear. I called them right before they grabbed me. Relief washed through me so strong I nearly collapsed. But the danger wasn't over. Because my children, the ones I carried in my belly, fed with my hands, raised with my heart, looked at me with pure hatred. Hatred deep enough to destroy everything in its path. And as the police stormed the living room, I held the letter tightly in my trembling hand, knowing that whatever happened next would change our family forever. And the truth inside that letter? Oh, my child, that truth would burn their world to the ground. I wish I could tell you that everything settled after that night, that the truth set me free, that my heart finally felt light enough to rest. But life, my life, has never been that simple. Even after everything I had gone through, surviving homelessness, the inheritance, the betrayals, the lies, the secrets that came crawling out like snakes, the storm wasn't done with me yet. Because the final twist, the one that would change the way I saw everyone I loved, was still waiting for me. It was early morning when the doorbell rang. I had barely slept. My mind twisted with the memories of the past days, the confrontations, the heartbreaks, the truth about who had tried to sabotage my new life, the guilt I carried for not protecting my children better. When the bell rang again, sharp and urgent, I shuffled toward the door. When I opened it, a young delivery boy stood there, holding a single envelope. "Ma'am," he said gently, "this was marked as urgent. They said it needed your signature." I didn't recognize the handwriting. I didn't recognize the sender. But my hands trembled as I signed the slip. 'Cause somehow my heart knew this wasn't ordinary. The envelope was thick. Heavy, like it was carrying more than paper. Maybe carrying fate. I sat on the couch staring at it, afraid to open it. Afraid of whatever truth was waiting inside. When I finally tore it open, a smaller note slipped out first. It was only one line. "I'm sorry. I never wanted you to find out this way." My breath caught. Then I unfolded the papers beneath it, and my world tilted. Legal documents, bank statements, ownership transfers, emails printed out, and at the very top, a DNA test. A DNA test with my name and someone else's, my granddaughter's. And the truth hit me so hard I felt my heartbeat stutter. The baby, my sweet grandbaby, the one whose blanket I saw thrown away, the one I cried for, worried for, prayed for. She wasn't biologically connected to my son. My hands went numb. My whole body froze. My daughter-in-law, the girl I welcomed into my home, the one who always avoided my gaze. She had kept something from all of us. I covered my mouth, whispering to myself, No, this can't be. But it was there in black and white. My son, my baby boy I raised, the one who grew up with scraped knees and big dreams, the one who cried in my arms the day his father left. He wasn't the father. I felt the kind of heartbreak only a mother can feel, not because of the child, never because of her, but because of the betrayal my son would feel when he learned the truth. because of how much pain was coming for this family. I didn't know how long I sat there. Minutes? Hours? The papers rested on my lap like a weight crushing my chest. And then another realization struck. Where had this envelope come from? Who had sent it? Why now? And just when I thought my heart couldn't take another shock, the phone rang. My hands still shook as I answered. "Mom," a quiet voice said. "My daughter." The daughter I barely spoke to after years of tension and misunderstandings. "Mom, I need to come over." Her voice was cracked, broken. Not the strong, stubborn girl who always pretended she didn't need anyone. My instincts sharpened. Mother's intuition never dies. "Come," I whispered. "I'm here." When she arrived, she looked hollow, like she had been carrying something far too heavy for far too long. Before I could even speak, she sat beside me, her hands clutching each other so tight her knuckles went white. "Mom, there's something I should have told you a long time ago." My pulse quickened. She took a breath. "It was me," she whispered. "I sent the envelope." My eyes widened. I felt the air disappear from the room. She looked down, tears falling onto her hands. "I found out months ago. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know how to tell him. But I couldn't keep the secret anymore. Not after what happened to you. Not after seeing how the inheritance made everyone fight like wolves. I just wanted the truth to come out." My mouth went dry. "So you already knew?" I whispered painfully. She nodded. "And you didn't tell me?" Her face crumpled. "I didn't want to hurt you. Or my brother. Or the baby. But lies don't stay buried, Mom. They grow. They rot everything." She was right. I had learned that myself the hard way. That evening, we asked my son and daughter-in-law to come over. The air was thick, heavy with the storm we all knew was coming. My daughter sat beside me, my son across from us, his wife, staring at the floor, knees shaking. I didn't want to do this. God knows I didn't. But this family had been drowning in secrets long enough. My son spoke first. "What's going on?" My throat tightened. I looked at my daughter-in-law. "Do you want to tell him?" I asked softly. "Or should I?" She burst into tears instantly, and my son's confusion shifted to fear. "What's wrong?" he said, voice cracking. His wife covered her face and choked on her sobs. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry." My son froze. Mom? What is she talking about?" I slid the envelope across the table. He looked at it, then at me, then at her. When he opened it, his face went white. He read the first page, then the second, then the email exchange between his wife and the other man, then the paternity test. His eyes filled with tears that looked too heavy for a grown man to carry. He stood up too fast, knocking over the chair. This isn't real," he whispered. "Tell me this isn't real." But there was no lie left to hide in. His wife reached for him, sobbing uncontrollably. "I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. I never meant for this to happen." He pulled his hand away, stepping back like he'd been stabbed. And maybe in a way he had. "I raised that child like my own," he whispered, voice breaking. "I loved her. I still." He turned away, choking on the words. I closed my eyes, fighting my own tears. Because parents feel their children's heartbreak double. Once for them, once for ourselves. Hours passed. Tears. Silence. Questions none of us wanted to ask. But in the end, my son did something I never expected. He sat beside his wife, still hurt, still broken, and said, "I may not be her biological father, but I'm the man who stayed. I'm the one who was there. And I'm not abandoning that little girl." My daughter-in-law sobbed into her hands. I felt my heart soften for both of them, because sometimes love is stronger than blood, stronger than betrayal, stronger than fear. He wasn't done though. He turned to me, tears still on his cheeks. "Mom, I don't want this family to fall apart again. Not after everything you went through. Not after what happened with the inheritance. We need to rebuild, not destroy." I nodded, tears streaming freely. "Then we rebuild," I whispered. Slowly, carefully, one truth at a time. Weeks passed. Therapy, painful conversations, awkward dinners, healing in small pieces. The house felt different now, quieter, but honest. My son became a better father than ever, not because of blood, but because of love. My daughter and I slowly mended the space between us. My daughter-in-law, she worked every day to regain trust. And I finally found peace. Because sometimes life breaks us to remake us. Sometimes betrayal shows us the truth we've been too blind to see. And sometimes the family we think is shattered is really just waiting to be rebuilt stronger. Brick by brick. Truth by truth. Heart by heart. And this time, I'm not doing it alone.